Episode 5 of The Bad Batch is titled Rampage, and right from the start, I was really worried. I openly expected this to be another side mission with no real plot development at all, but while this was again another side mission, boy oh boy was it interesting. The Bad Batch find themselves in need of information on the bounty hunter chasing after Omega. Echo mentions that he knows of an informant named Sid on Ord Mantell, who was well trusted by the Jedi during the Clone War, and Echo thinks it's a smart play to take this option. Once they meet up with Sid, they get the typical "we need information" trope. The Bad Batch needs information, Sid needs a job done, the Bad Batch chooses to do the job in return for the information. The job in question is a rescue. A kid named Moochie has been taken captive by Zygerian slavers and is being held on the other side of the planet. The Bad Batch agreed to take the job and make their way to the Zygerian camp. While on their way, we get another reminder that Wrecker is still having pain in his head, and every time it comes up, I start to panic. I really think at some point he's going to go berserk because of his inhibitor chip, and it will not be pleasant for anybody. They are able to locate their target, being a small Helene child who they believe to be Moochie, and plan their rescue. It doesn't get very far as the Bad Batch are then captured by the slavers. And again, just like the last few episodes, Omega decides to not listen to Hunter's orders to stay on the ship and comes to their rescue. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about this always being the case. The Bad Batch are supposed to be an elite group of clones, yet for some reason they always end up needing Omega's help. I know their specialties are in battlefield combat and not necessarily rescuing slaves, but I figured they would make quick work of something like this. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. This is, however, the part where we get a big twist, and I love it. While Omega plans her rescue, we get a shot of Sid talking to the employer of the job the Bad Batch are currently on. We only get a shot of the lower part of the employer's face, and we hear him speaking in an alien language, but it's all the information you need to know that this is Bib Fortuna and that we are dealing with Jabba the Hutt. Omega is able to set the Bad Batch free along with the rest of the slaves by releasing a baby rancor that was also locked up as a slave. And it's at this moment where we realize that the small Helene child from before is not Moochie, but the rancor. Now, unless stated somewhere else, I don't think this is the same rancor from Jabba's palace, as the rancor is listed in canon as being named Patissa, but there's still probably some connection. It is still a little concerning though to think that the Bad Batch may have set in motion the events that gets the rancor in Jabba's palace, so I feel like this mission may have caused more harm than good. While making their escape, we get a quick shot of Omega picking up one of the Zygerian bows that they were using as weapons to hold down the slaves. And based on the original trailer, this will probably be her main weapon for the rest of the show, and may be the reason the show is starting to get a little more action-packed. Now that she has this, she can properly defend herself alongside with the Bad Batch. With Moochie in hand, the Bad Batch make their way back into the city to deliver to Bib Fortuna, and are then paid their share for the job. And as promised, Sid holds up her end of the bargain and gives Hunter the information she has on the bounty hunter. Hunter learns that Fennec Shand is new to the bounty hunting scene, but is still a formidable opponent, and if she's after them, they must be worth a lot of credits. They do leave the episode on a little bit of a sketchy note though, as Sid claims that she's good with secrets after explaining that they may be worth a lot of money. Overall, while I was disappointed from the start that we weren't really getting anywhere plot-wise, I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome. The tie-in with Bib Fortuna and Jabba the Hutt was awesome, setting up more parts of the underground crime syndicates that are starting to get more power now that the Republic has transitioned into the Empire. Maybe because of this we'll see more of that throughout the remainder of the show, such as the Black Sun Syndicate or even Crimson Dawn. But as always, we'll just have to wait and find out next week. But what did you think of this episode of The Bad Batch? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.